Fish is an important and vital part of a healthy diet. But do we ever think where fish comes from? Some of us will say from the lakes, but of late, there has been a lot of pressure on Lake Victoria with fishermen complaining of small catches. The government, realizing the importance of fish in our diets, started the Eat More Fish campaign.
Don't forget, fish is rich in calcium, potassium, phosphorus, not forgetting the very important omega-3.
And recently, with the economic stimulus, fish farming is one of the flagship programs, and with it, many farmers have dug fish ponds, with some succeeding while some have failed.
From the fish farming, people can now afford fish, which initially before getting fish was a bit expensive from Lake Basin, but now it is affordable to common mwananchi, and that means we are increasing the omega intake, omega-3 intake.
Keeping fish, it is not tedious like keeping animals, like the dairy animals. No, small space will give you some good money. Liba sio kubwa sana. Liba itapatikana wakati unaosha, unafanya repair, unaajiri vijana kama 10 hivi, ama wakati unavua, unatega samaki. Wakati kama huo wanakuja pia na wao wanafaidika. Watu wangu wamefaidika sana, vijana wangu wa kijiji changu wamefaidika sana. Yeah.
This is 100 meter square pond. What else can I get from 100 meter square pond of maize? I cannot compare 100 square meter of maize, beans, to 100 square meter of koi carps or fish. I cannot. Definitely, fish will always be on a higher side.
Indeed, aquaculture is the only viable alternative source of fish, especially at this time when the natural stocks of fish are declining. The Ministry of Fisheries Development has backed this promotion by spearheading the development of higher-yielding, market-oriented aquaculture species and efficient aquaculture production technologies through the National Aquaculture Research, Development and Training Center. This initiative is supported by the Kenya Agricultural Productivity and Agribusiness Program, KAPAP, a 12-year program supported by the World Bank. KAPAP is a multi-institutional and multi-stakeholder project whose development objective is to increase agricultural productivity and incomes of participating smallholder farmers in line with the Agricultural Sector Development Strategy (ASDS). To achieve this objective, KAPAP is focusing on 4 main areas: policy and institutional support, agricultural research systems, agricultural extension, farmer and other stakeholders empowerment, and agribusiness and market development support. Support to research focuses on promoting agricultural technologies and innovations in agriculture using the value chain and collaborative research approach. The National Aquaculture Research, Development and Training Institute, Sagana, is one of the institutions receiving KAPAP support for the generation of technologies to improve fish farming along the value chain. The center's mission is to facilitate sustainable development of commercial aquaculture in Kenya through applied, demand-driven research and technology transfer that is responsive to the industry for social-economic benefits. This center is situated within Sagana Township, Kirinyaga County, about 104 kilometers northeast of Nairobi. The center was established in 1948 as Sagana Fish Farm to serve as a center for demonstration of fish farming and as a source of fingerlings.
This center is an old one. It was formed in 1948. That's the time it was founded by the colonial government. And since then, it was formed as a Sagana fish farm. It has been changing. It has changed name at least twice. It later was referred to as Sagana Aquaculture Center. At that time, of course, there was still a lot of fish in the region, but for tilapia and catfish, that fish that was not very common around here, and so it was formed to ensure that the farmers around here would actually take up fish farming. At the same time, there was also some emphasis on restocking of rivers around this place, especially for the what do you call the sport fishing.
In 2010, it was elevated and it is now the national headquarters of aquaculture research, development and training in Kenya. What is the mandate of the center?
The center is supporting a lot of activities around the country. We have a fish that comes from here is taken all over the country through a system of multiplication centers. So here we have a breeding program where we are breeding catfish and Nile tilapia. These two species are the things that the ones that we are focusing on at the moment, because they are the most commonly farmed in the country. So after we have done our breeding here, it is given to the multiplication centers, who multiply it, and then they give it to the hatcheries, and the hatcheries eventually now give it to the farmers. So it has read the tag number. I don't know if you can see it. Well, the biggest amount of activity that we have ever had here, it didn't start a long time ago. Although this center, as I said before, has been in existence for a long time. It was when the government now decided to come in with the economic stimulus program in 2009 that this center actually started working very, very much. And if you look at our sales at that time, we used to sell very few fish, maybe 200,000 per year of fingerlings. But at the moment, we are selling in terms of millions. And it is because of the stimulation that the government has given to the farmers. We have been also providing brood stock to the farmers through, of course, the multiplication centers. So it has been a lot of focus on these two species. And we also do a lot of training here of farmers. We also do what we call the training of trainers. We have trained quite a number of farmers over the years.
Given the mandate of the center and the rising number of fish farmers, the center needed funds to achieve its mandate. We are grateful that the Kenya Agricultural Productivity and Agribusiness Project has come to assist us.
While we are speaking about the economic stimulus program that started in 2009, the focus was not really on research or at that time. And so we had to look for funding, and we were very lucky to get the KAPAP that enabled us to actually do some research to help the farmers, because there are issues that were troubling us at that time. Issues of fish diseases were coming up, issues of people not being able to keep their fish until harvesting, fish dying in the process of farming. And also there were issues of stunting fish, that the fish were not growing as big as was expected. So these were all research issues. Then also there were other issues like the way the ponds were constructed. They could silt too quickly. So we're looking at how do we ensure that people are able to, the farmers are able to get ponds that are stable. It has been a disconnect generally among the traders and farmers, in that sometimes farmers will say, I have a lot of fish, I don't know whom to sell to. Then you go to the traders, they also say that we have a lot of, we have market, we don't know where to get the fish. So one of the things that KAPAP is doing is to bring these two groups together. And we are using what we call aquaculture value chain approach, in terms of looking at the fish from the time it is as an egg until it is brought to the table. So we are following the issues of marketing from fingerling or the seed to the table size. And we have seen KAPAP helping us to bring together farmers through connecting the hatcheries to the farmers, and connecting farmers to the hatcheries at one level. Then another level, we are connecting the farmers to the processors and fish traders. So we have seen this as being a very useful thing. Through KAPAP, we are able to also increase production of some other species apart from the 2 species we mentioned. There is one of the fishes that has actually disappeared from Lake Victoria that KAPAP is helping to revive, and that is what we call ningu in the local language, otherwise known as Labeo victorianus. So this is a fish that KAPAP funds are being used to support its production. Quite a number of farmers are actually using this fish already to farm, and well, we are hopeful that within a very short time, because of the interest that farmers have had, it will also require that we produce this fish en masse.
When I was a child, ningu was one of the most delicious species liked by people coming around the lake. But these days, they are not there. Even during rainy season, getting them is a big problem. So that is why farming will give back the species now, liked by the people coming around the lake.
Okay, so what we are doing here is we are tagging the fish. The reason why we are tagging the fish is that we have several families of fish that we have been breeding in different happers. We have kept those families in happers until they are able they reach the size where they can be tagged, which is around between 2 and 5 grams. Because each individual is given a particular number, which actually differentiates the members of one family from another. So when we put them, now we stock them in one big pond, we grow them together until they are mature. Then at that time we now select our fish that are going to be parents for the next generation.
Fish feed was a big challenge to farmers. How did we overcome this?
Before ESP, there was a lot of issues with the inputs. 2 major inputs. One is the issue of this fish seed, tilapia or catfish seed. That was a problem that had to be solved. The other one is the issue of fish feed. Fish feed was not there. There was only one company that was actually doing fish feed at that time. And also they were not doing it with a lot of vigor, because farmers were not they were not there. We didn't have enough. Farmers didn't have the power to buy the fish feed. So that was the problem. So one of the things that made ESP to be more successful is that it came with the support to the farmers. At that time, we needed 28 million fingerlings. So we managed to convince hatchery people in the private sector that, look, we need 28 million fingerlings. Where do we get these fingerlings? So it was now easier to tell them that you can invest and make some money. Because at that time, each fingerling was going for 3 shillings. So you can imagine how many millions people could have made. Then at the same time, we went to the private sector and told them, now look, we need, because 28 million fingerlings, we were estimating at that time that we needed at least 30 metric tons of fish feed. So now it made a lot of sense that now if you produce fish feed, it has buyers. So the government said, we are going to buy the feed from you, we are going to buy the fingerlings from you. So that's what made it have a big impetus. So many people actually went into this thinking that they are going to get the money from the fingerlings and also the other feed manufacturers. Remember, at that time we had only one. Now we have over 10 very serious feed producers in the country.
To achieve our mandate, we collaborate with other organizations. These include AFIPEC, Crop King, AAK, MSU, ILRI, and FD.
I've been working with Sagana, Free, whereby we've been working together in formulating and getting the approximate analysis for the various feed in Kenya. This has necessitated Sagana to take me as one of their collaborators in most of the research projects they have. So this has made us go around the country, like a KAPAP project, where we have 3 target areas, which is Bucha, Taita Taveta, and Meru. The reason why we chose the 3 areas is that they are very active in fish farming, and we wanted to identify what problems they've had from time and wanted to improve on them. So after identifying, as a feed manufacturer, we have been able to get feed materials from them, what is locally available, so that we can do some proximate analysis and analyze how best it can fit them and suit them for their local feed production, so that they can be able to reduce on the cost of feed production.
The other thing that we are looking at is, of course, issues of value addition. Many of the farmers in Kenya, they produce fish, but what do they do with it after that? Harvesting is one of the big issue. Many farmers actually don't harvest, and you wonder why they don't do that. But it's because sometimes they don't have the way to do it. They don't know how to do it. They also don't know how to handle that fish, and also the issues like how to even to cook the fish. So we are looking at value addition. And the KAPAP project has again enabled us to add value, to help farmers to add value to the fish that they are producing.
Value addition in fish is very important because you reduce post-harvest losses. Because fish is very perishable. The moment you get it out of water, the decaying process starts. So if a farmer can just start adding value or making those products like smoking, drying, then the post-harvest losses are reduced. Yes, we do a variety of preservation methods. One of them is using the smoking kiln. You use the locally available materials like sawdust, which is locally available. And the amount of smoke that is used, that goes to the fish, is also limited. There are smoke levels that are detrimental to the human health. So this one, the smoke levels are reduced, unlike outside there, where they just put it in a lot of smoke and they put their health at risk. And we also make some diversified products, which include some samosas, fish fingers, and fish balls. We do them at station level, first of all, to test them before they reach the farmer. Smoking, the taste is good, and also it has long shelf life. So it can take long before it is spoiled, especially to regions or to farmers who cannot afford